I did it. I did it, Pat. Bless you, bless you, bless you.
He couldn't even get the words out. See, it takes teamwork. We're a community. We're all pitching in. So we are really, really blessed to have such a big teamwork now to put on Froggy Friday. We've added extra speakers like our beautiful Claire is joining us today to give us her message and inspire us. And we have practitioners. We've got Christine to open and Nancy to close. And then Paul is going to give a short meditation. Imagine thinking you were going to do a 25 meditation. You got to read the rule book, Paul. But just a 5 to 7 minute meditation just grounds us into that source of who we are and aligns us and centers us. So let us begin.
Before we do the meditation, can we bookend with announcements on both sides? Because I'm about to jump out my skin. I'm so excited about tomorrow. Can we do that, Reverend Gwen?
Absolutely.
Okay, everybody here has received our invitation for our reunion date tomorrow. Can you believe it's been 2 years? 2 years this week that we were all together, that I met so many of you for the very first time, and how our lives have expanded and grown together. So the invitation is for you to show up. There's so much happening. You're going to see what we've been doing in your community, in our community. We're going to have speakers, leaders, and team and community all sharing in their light and love. So mark tomorrow, 8 p.m. Kenyan time, 8 p.m. Kenyan time, and pop on 10, 15 minutes early, just to make sure that you're getting that community spirit and all of our sharing, because it's happening tomorrow. Donna, I know you'll be there. I'm so excited to see you.
Come on 10 minutes early, because we are going to be running pictures for that first 10 minutes before the top of the hour. So you'll get to see some of the safaris we did. We are going to have some conference pictures, et cetera, et cetera. So
if you want to see where we've been, where we're going, and where we've been, where we are, and where we're going, come on, join us. And take that into our meditation and marinate a little bit. Brother Paul.
So I'm going to ask Christine to open us. And then we'll have Paul do our meditation. Or do we want to do first sing our one people?
Oh my gosh, we must always sing one people. It's your call, Reverend Gwen.
Okay, here we go, people.
This is our theme song, everybody.
This is how we start our Froggy Friday, and then we're going to go right into treatment and then meditation. All right, bring your voices. We are one people, one strong heartbeat, just one spirit shining bright within us all. We are part of one another, born to love each other. When it's all said and done, we are one. We are one people, one strong heartbeat, just one spirit shining bright within us all. Well, we are part of one another. We're born to love each other. When it's all said and done, we are one. Go, Gwen! We are one people, one strong heartbeat, just one spirit shining bright within us all. We are part of one another, born to love each other. When it's all said and done, we are one. When it's all said and done, we are one. Jazz hands, everyone. Thank you, thank you. All right. Let's just take that big, deep, collective breath. And we'll allow Christine to bring us in.
Join as I recognize the power source, the infinite, the spirit as I recognize that it's all beautiful and I am one with this infinite power, which I call God, I realize in this moment it's all beautiful and I am connected with this infinite power. I realize that this powerful power is beautiful and it is one with me. And I realize the magnificence of this power. And I realize the connection, the love, the peace, the joy that connects us all in this moment of love. And I realize the beauty brings us to Froggy Friday, the love, the power, the light around us. It gives gratitude because this love, this amazing joy, this amazing beauty, and beautiful. I gratitude because CSL Kenya Center and our teaching the students who are willing and the beauty, the test because of these teachers in this grounding us the light, the love. And I give gratitude even because of us students who are willing to unfold into that beauty, into that light, greatness. And I give gratitude even because of connect program into our highest good as we back the greatness, the good, the joy, the beauty of this that we so great because of moment. I'm so happy for today. I'm so happy and great allow my it is breakdown and together we say it is.
And so it is. Oh dear. Oh dear.
We made it through. Ooh,
Yeah,
but
there's
we
tech-
felt your energy and your love. And thank you. And the words that we heard and received are taken into the heart. And we know that the universe always implants. Go ahead, Brawl.
So we take just 5 minutes for our meditation. And as we prepare to enter into this meditation, I'll just ask you to be comfortable as that may be. Sit still, just make yourself comfortable. And these 5 minutes are going to be 5 minutes that is a gift to yourself. Just tell your mind to be still. Tell your mind to be still like a pet, and you feed it. You take 5 minutes. In these 5 minutes, let us appreciate, realize, and enjoy the peace that God is peace. And since we are one with God, we are at peace and all is well. Feed your mind with this awareness, this truth for the next 4 minutes or so. God is peace. We are one with God. It's all peaceful and it's all well. God is peace. We are one with God, and all is well. Gently bring back your awareness into this moment. And as we end our session, as we end our meditation, stay with the truth. Stay with the truth. God is peace. We are one with God, and all is well. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Paul. It can be done in 5. Ah, what a delight. What a delight. Coming together in one. So we are really excited today because we have our guest speaker who is no stranger. She is one of our practitioner students, teachers. Is it 1 or 2 that you teach in?
Practitioner 2, the second
2.
year.
So, and then she is teaching a new class on February 10th for all our newcomers. So she is the bringing them in with the Change Your Thinking, Change Your Life. And we all know where that hook came from. Reverend Connie it was one of her favorites. And so now Claire is going to run the class with our new people. And anybody else can join in, honestly. But this is for anybody that came through our discovery class and anybody that's curious. And Reverend Claire is doing that on February 10th for 5 weeks. A lot is happening, but right now let's just settle in and allow ourselves to be open and listen to an inspiring message by Reverend Claire Summerhill. Thank you. Yay.
Thank you. It is just such a joy and a privilege for me to be here and to be invited to share this time with you. And it's wonderful to see the people that are here, the ones that I know or have met. It's so good to see you, and the ones that I don't know yet. I'm looking forward to getting to know you. I want to tell you just a little about myself. I live in Las Vegas, Nevada, which is the desert in the southwestern part of the United States. We have palm trees and cactus and rocks for our yards because there's limited water in the desert. It's very hot in the summer here, might get up to 115 degrees, but in the fall and winter and spring, it's just lovely, pleasant temperatures. Interestingly, my history, and I love it when people share how they found new thought, and because when that happens, I feel like we really are one, because so many of our stories are similar. I was actually raised Mormon, and I had many powerful spiritual experiences in that context. And as I realized that I was ready to move beyond that, I realized that we can have spiritual experiences in any context. It doesn't mean that religion is true, because God is everywhere, and wherever we are, we can have those experiences. But I wasn't content there with the idea of sin and needing to be saved, to have somebody. That just never felt right. There was racism and sexism in that religion that I was just really uncomfortable with. And so I began searching. And I had a sense of what I believed, like flow, I think. Wayne Dyer was one of my very early teachers. Like, there's another way to see things than the limited way I'd been seeing them. And so I had a sense of what I believed, but what I wanted was a place to worship, a community, like-minded people that I could come together, that we could serve each other and grow together. And I found that in the Science of Mind. community in Salt Lake City, where I was living at the time. And I began to take classes, and I loved the classes. I just loved being exposed to a brand new way of seeing things and realizing how many limited beliefs I'd had that were holding me back. And I loved the opportunity to learn to get to know new people. And so I took classes, and then they invited me to start the practitioner training. Well, I didn't know if I wanted to be a practitioner. I wasn't really even sure what it was, but I just said, okay. They said, well, you don't have to commit yet. Just take the class and see, which is what we say over and over again. Just check it out. So I did. And then, of course, I realized I did want to be a practitioner. That idea of being with someone heart to heart and knowing the truth for that other person was such an amazing gift. So I finished the practitioner training, and just an ongoing adventure of loving and growing and so on. And then I moved to Las Vegas because my daughter was here and needed my support. And not too long after I got here, so this was some years ago, I had the incredible privilege of meeting Reverend Connie. She had come to Las Vegas for a gathering. And of course, she was always so frugal and careful, and she wanted to stay with someone rather than having to, pay for the expensive hotel. And I said, I didn't know her then, but I said, well, I'd love to have her stay with me. And so what an incredible opportunity. And that's how my adventure with Reverend Connie started. I got to drive her back and forth to where her gathering was, and we talked. She had just, I believe, made her first trip to Africa. And the whole adventure was just beginning at that time. And Connie, as many of you, for me, was an incredible example of how to live our lives. And we can look at what she did and say, yes, that's what I want to do. So you all know this story, but I love it. She was in some kind of meeting, and she was opening herself. What's Spirit's highest idea for me? What's next for me? How can I best serve? And the words came to her very clearly in her head: go to Africa. And of course, her first thought was, what? I've never been to Africa. I don't know anything about Africa. Where did that come from? So that's like the first thing she tells us. Listen, like, be open. Spirit, I believe, is talking to us all the time, sending us messages in nature, in relationships, in things that happen. And we just need to open. So that was the first wonderful example that Connie was. Listen. And then the next thing is, she didn't deny it. She didn't say, well, I can't do that. I don't know what to do. I'm too small. Africa's big. She allowed herself to have this expansive vision. And she began to see, start small, but she saw it growing and making a huge difference in Kenya. And she saw that big picture, even when it was just starting. And then, of course, she took the first step. You see how this is how we create. This is how we transform the world. We listen, we open ourselves to Spirit. We let go of those negative thoughts. We allow ourselves to imagine what's possible. That's Spirit coming into us when we see that idea of what's possible. And then take the first step. She knew what to do. Well, I'll start teaching classes. She taught a few people. They told other people. She kept teaching, and then she knew she was going to have practitioners. And of course, her vision was growing ministers, Kenyan ministers, teaching, leading, growing, blessing, and the work continually expanding. So, and then she stayed open. She was always open to what's next. And in every aspect of it, she's giving thanks. Thank you. So that was such a gift for me to meet Connie right at the beginning and then ongoingly have a relationship with her. She invited me to come to the conference in 2020 and asked me to help with the children. I was the youth family in charge of our youth and family at my center then. And so that was so fun to spend those days with the children and young people of Kenya. They were so, well, I don't know quite how to say this, but they're like so much nicer than the children from North America, who are kind of, I don't know, loud and argumentative. And so it was just a gift, like these dear, polite, sweet children who just, I mean, like, listen to my stories and stuff, and had a time to, thank you, Flo, for your thumbs up. I appreciate that. So I had that gift. So based on that, like Connie's example, one of the topics I love the most is how we use the creative power. And Ernest Holmes, in his book, The Science of Mind, which is a book I love, there's what he said about that. We must consciously know that we can use creative power. The more complete such acceptance on our part, the more completely we shall be able to use this power for definite purposes. That's the trust. That's what the classes, the practices is getting us to that point where, yes, I can use this creative power. I like to sort of picture the life force, the creative energy just looking to burst into form. And all we have to do is allow it and be open to it and accept it. I firmly believe that we only can have what we're willing and able to accept. And it's our teachings and our practices are to expand that ability to accept. I lived so much of my life in a survival mode, making do, putting up with, thinking I should be happy for what I have. And it's not that that was a bad time. That was good experience in my life to learn that. But one day I realized I don't want to be so good at putting up with and making do. I want to be open and able to accept more instead of feeling like, who, me? I don't deserve that, and playing small. So in your lives, this is what I suggest for you. Start by listening. We do that through a practice we call visioning, which is asking the infinite life energy, what's the highest idea for my life? That sort of lets us let go of our limited negative thoughts. And then we consciously like release the things that are holding us back. And in all of this, sometimes we get to a place where we say, why aren't the things I'm envisioning coming to me? Why isn't it happening? And I firmly believe and say wherever we are is the perfect place for us to be. Whatever we're experiencing is the perfect thing we need to learn, to grow, to experience the next thing. Of course, I've had times that I've been in difficult times and painful times and in situations that I kind of wish weren't happening. And one of the things I do in that place is I imagine myself in the future, looking back at that experience and saying, oh, I am so grateful that that happened. Because if that hadn't happened, I would never have learned this or that. I had an experience with a person, as we do sometimes, who just caused me difficulty. It seemed like we were always in a power struggle, and I didn't like it. And I would suggest something, and she was always against it. We were working together on a team, and it was very difficult. And I wished I weren't in that. You know, I didn't want it. I wanted her to be different. That's how we are. Until I got through it and realized I had not realized that I still cared so much what other people thought of me. I thought I'd kind of, grown beyond that, and that I could be myself and be free and express myself. Well, she showed me. And I even would joke to people, she's giving me way more practice at not caring what people think than I want, because that's what it felt like. But that's how every experience is. And when we don't judge them as, well, that's bad, that shouldn't be happening, then we're able to look and see what is here for me to learn. What's the gift here? How is this experience helping me in the full realization of God? So as we think about that, I want to share a story with you. This is a true story that happened in 2000, the year 2000, in the United States. And it, for me, is a powerful example of what I'm talking about, and kind of an inspiration for us for the future in Kenya. This story is called The Daffodil Principle. It's by a woman named Geraldine Edwards. This is her true story. Several times, my daughter had telephoned me to say, "Mother, you must come see the daffodils before they are over." I wanted to go, but it was a 2-hour drive from my house to Lake Arrowhead, where she lived. Finally, I said, "I'll come next Tuesday." When Tuesday came, it was cold and rainy. Still, I promised, and reluctantly, I drove the 2 hours to her house. When I arrived, I was welcomed by the joyful sounds of happy children as I hugged and greeted my grandchildren. "Oh, forget the daffodils, Carolyn. The road is invisible in these clouds and fog, and there's nothing in the world except you and these children that I want to see." My daughter smiled calmly and said, "We drive in this all the time, Mother." "Well, you won't get me back on the road until it clears up, and then I'm heading for home," I said. "But first, we're going to see the daffodils," Carolyn said. "It's just a few blocks. I'll drive. I'm used to this." We got in her car and drove into the foggy, rainy morning. "Carolyn," I said, "turn around." "It's all right, Mother. I promise you'll never forgive yourself if you miss this experience." After about 20 minutes, we turned onto a small gravel road, and I saw a small church. The fog had lifted, and patches of bright blue were showing in the clouds. On the far side of the church, I saw a hand-lettered sign with an arrow that read, "Daffodil Garden." We got out of the car, each took a child's hand, and I followed Carolyn down the path. Then, as we turned the corner, I looked up and gasped. Before me lay the most glorious sight. It looked as though someone had taken a great vat of gold and poured it over the mountain peak and its surrounding slopes. The flowers were planted in majestic swirling patterns, great ribbons and swaths of deep orange, creamy white, lemon yellow, salmon pink, and saffron and butter yellow. Each different colored variety was planted in large groups so that it swirled and flowed like its own river with its own unique hue. there were 5 acres of flowers. Who did this? I asked Carolyn. Just one woman, Carolyn answered. She lives on the property. That's her home. Carolyn pointed to a small, well-kept frame house, modestly sitting in the midst of all that glory. We walked up to the house. On the patio, we saw a poster. Answers to the questions I know you were asking, was the headline. The first answer was a simple one: 50,000 bulbs. The second answer was one at a time by one woman, 2 hands, 2 feet, and 1 brain. The third answer was began in 1958. For me, that moment was a life-changing experience. I thought of this woman who I had never met, who more than 40 years before had begun one bulb at a time to bring her vision of beauty and joy to an obscure mountaintop. Planting one bulb at a time, year after year, this unknown woman had forever changed the world in which she lived. One day at a time, she had created something of extraordinary magnificence, beauty, and inspiration. The principle her daffodil garden taught me is one of the greatest principles of creation. That is, learning to move toward our goals and desires one step at a time, often just one baby step at a time, and learning to love the doing, learning to use the accumulation of time. When we multiply tiny pieces of time with small increments of daily effort, we too will find we can accomplish magnificent things. We can change the world. Well, it makes me sad in a way, I said to Carolyn. What might I have accomplished if I had thought of a wonderful goal 35 or 40 years ago and had worked away at it, one bulb at a time, through all these years? Just think what I might have been able to achieve. My wise daughter summed up the message of the day in her usual direct way. Mother, start tomorrow, she said. She was right. It's so pointless to think of the lost hours of yesterday. The way to make learning a lesson of celebration instead of a cause for regret is only to ask, how can I put this to use today? There's no better time than right now to be happy. That story inspired me, and it tells us so much. You see that it's just like Connie's story. First, this woman had an idea. Wow, what if I started planting flowers on the mountain? She didn't say it's too big of a job, I'm just one person. She started in. She saw it. She could see and imagine it in her mind, the beauty of it. And she took one step at a time, one baby step. And then the other interesting part is I have a tendency to do that sometimes, think, why did it take me so long in my life to learn this one little thing? And now I finally get it. What if I had known that? No, just let that go. Today is a perfect day to take on the next adventure. Doesn't help to say, oh, I should have done it before, because we're here, we're right now. And then whatever it is you're creating, you're building, allow it to unfold in its perfect way. And then again, as with Reverend Connie, in everything we do, we give thanks. So I kind of see Kenya as this mountain. And we are planting those first flowers. You know, at the conference, we planted that tree. And that was an exciting thing. That was, for those of you who were there, it was just a wonderful ritual of planting seeds in Kenya. And each person here I see as one of those flowers, like coming up, and I see that mountain that's Kenya, just overflowing with beauty, with joy, as we continue to take our baby steps one by one. So what I want you to take away today is the Daffodil Principle. What is it that you hear when you open yourselves and listen? What's Spirit's highest idea for me? And then you have the courage to take action, even if it's just a baby step. You do the first thing. And as we take that first step, more things open to our view. And then in everything we do, as we allow things to unfold in their right and perfect way, with joy, with gratitude, the adventure continues. And that's what we're up to, being on this adventure of creating lives that work, a world that works for all, and a willingness to do our part, to let go of our limited thoughts that we're not enough, and take the next step, and the next step, and the next little step. So thank you for letting me come and share some thoughts with you, and go forth and create and be the magnificent people that you are. Thank you so much.
Oh, Reverend Claire, you move me so much with this story and your sharing in your heart. My goodness, we are so blessed to be in the presence of you today. Everyone, love, love, love for Reverend Claire. Oh, Christopher's baby.
Thank you. Be blessed, Reverend Claire. Be blessed abundantly. That is so inspiring. Thank you so much.
Thank you, James. Thank you all. Thank you for letting me come, and I hope they'll let me come back again.
Oh, Gwen, you're muted. You're muted, Gwen. Absolutely, Claire. Yes, next time, and the time after, and the time after. You are so welcome here. We love you. We value you. Oh, how we appreciate you. Thank you for your wisdom and the story. Oh, my heart's just bursting. What a beautiful foundation to lay as we head into tomorrow, sharing and who we are and the planting of the seeds and the memories that are sprinkled all over us. Oh, Reverend Gwen, go ahead, do you.
Well, we have a tremendous day planned tomorrow, and many of you are going to be involved with this. And this is where basically it's North America gets to meet you. We're going to have lots of our community in Kenya talk and participate in our meetup tomorrow / reunion update, whatever you want to know about Kenya and what we've, like Barb said, where we've come, what we're doing now, and where we're headed sort of idea. But it's a time to really get reconnected and come in and see people. And since our conference, we have new people. Like, it's not just it from that point. That was a real boost in awareness of who we are in Kenya and Nairobi. But with that and Zoom, thank you, Zoom. And that's the silver lining of COVID. We had to communicate through Zoom, and it's been a blessing because it's expanded us so much more than we would if we were on the ground in real like reality. That's a gift. And so we are very, very, very blessed. So tomorrow it is starting at 8:00 Kenyan time. And if you haven't got an invitation or the link, please let us know. Anyone that we have asked to participate tomorrow, we want you just to hang back after this Froggy Friday service so that we can chat with you a little bit and give you the heads up as to how to manage your Zoom and coming in and out for the program. So we'll start at 8:00 Kenyan time, 8 p.m. It'll be about an hour or 65 minutes of a presentation. Then you can come on 10 minutes early so that you can see the slides running through of all the pictures. And then we'll have the program. And then we're going to have breakout rooms. And we're going to have people in the breakout rooms. And you can say, hey, I would love to talk to that person. So then you can join that breakout room. We're going to have hosts in that room, in those rooms. So you can join in and talk to them about Kasumu. You can talk about practitioner studies. You can talk about ministerial studies, et
You
cetera,
can
et
ask
cetera.
any questions you want, any Q&A you want. We'll
Yes.
question and answers. We're there for you.
The translation program is going to be represented. So there's lots of opportunity to find out even more if you're curious about something or you didn't even know it was happening, because this CSLK is moving and shaking. And so there's always something new going on. Barb, anything you want to add?
Oh my gosh, just my sincere gratitude. I want every face that is here today to be there tomorrow. I feel, you know, the word reunion is a coming together, a celebration of something that has gone on, and to relive that. And we are reliving and we are planting more seeds, as Reverend Claire said today, for tomorrow and the future. And I feel like I'm getting on an airplane and coming to Kenya right now. That's how I feel. I feel like my bags are packed. I'm ready to go. I'm standing here outside your door. And that's how I feel. And it brings tears to my eyes of joy and elation to know that we are so connected. So this again is a pivotal moment for all of us to come together and share in community and love and just flourish and shine and share and be together.
And we want you to represent CSLK. Come, please show up so that the world can see, because we've invited the world. We've got global international invitations out. So it is going to be
and sorry, Gwen,
great.
but I'm excited. Yeah. And many of our donors will be on. And 10-day, I see your hand is up. I saw you shaking and now you put your hand up. Talk to me, girl.
Hello, everyone. Happy New Year. It's still a new year. And
Yes, it is.
Happy New You. I'm so
Yes.
happy to be here. And thank you so much, Reverend Claire, for that story and for sharing. It was always touched my heart. And there's always something, there's an opportunity in everything. So I'm like, keeps me going. Okay, I'll do my work day by day. But I wanted just to jump in here really quick, Reverend Barbara and Reverend Gwen, because I'm so excited to hear about, tomorrow, I'll be up early again now that I have the time frame correct in terms of what time it is here in California.
9 o'clock for you,
And
9 o'clock.
I want to offer an invitation, if I may, to the people that show up here. Something that you did say, that because of, some of the circumstances in the, blah, 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 the COVID thing, we have an opportunity, and that is Zoom. I want to offer that when we come on Zoom, if at all possible, that we show up fully by being on camera. And what that does for each and every one of us, first, we're getting to see your face, we get more energy. It's like taking that next step. Like Reverend Claire was saying, put the bulb in and then put the next bulb in and watch the stuff grow and just be beautiful. So I'm just going to invite everyone that comes to be on camera. Let us see your beautiful faces. We're not looking for, everything to be made up and perfect, because you're already perfect. We're already perfect. So
Reverend Cinda, that is a beautiful suggestion. And I want to add to that, whenever people come on, Gwen and I always ask to see their faces and they show, but it actually costs more money to have different data to show your face. And so just the mere fact that we are present here, but so this is the stuff that we need to talk about and share so that so that we can be aware of what's happening. Everybody always shows their gorgeous, beautiful face to us when they shine and sign in. Thank you, James. I see you shining. But it does take a different cost bundle to be able to do that.
Yes.
I see you, Alfred. I see you.
Cool. Thank you for sharing that. And again, if at all possible, that's all I'm saying. If at all possible.
Yeah. Everything's
Yes.
possible. So as we
Yes.
generate awareness, as we generate donations, as we generate love and community,
Mhm.
anything is possible in the mind of God. And I love that you want to see everybody too.
Thank you. Thank
It
you.
does.
Yeah.
Any more
Okay.
sharing?
And the other thing I want to mention too in this moment is on Monday at 8 o'clock Kenyan time is Reverend Eileen Brownell is offering a grief circle. I know that there has been many people who have experienced single and multiple deaths this year in their family, in their friends, in their neighbors. And sometimes it's just a struggle because it starts to get overwhelming. And so I would really encourage you to join with Reverend Eileen on Monday at 8 o'clock. And we'll put it out there. I know there's a lot going on. That's every day. There's something going on. But this is really, if you're struggling or if you've just experienced it and you feel like you're okay, maybe just check in and see if it's actually grief moving into mourning. And that's where you want to go. So Reverend Eileen is a very experienced minister in the world of grief and very knowledgeable and helpful. So that is for this Monday, the 7th at 8 p.m. And then on the 10th, of course, is Reverend Claire's class at 8 p.m. And that's Thursday, the 10th.
And we already know the
See, I
brilliance.
said we were moving and shaking. This is Kenya. This is CSL Kenya, everyone. Yeah.
Let's do our affirmations, Gwen. And if people want to break out and they feel like they need some extra support in a room today, we have practitioners that are standing by for you. I'm going to pop off after we do our affirmations because I'm preparing with Reverend Pat for tomorrow, as we all have been doing, like little busy bees. And we will see you tomorrow. My heart is expanded tenfold hearing your message today, Reverend Claire. I feel we're in the midst of another burst, everybody. Show me some love. Let's do these affirmations. Gwen will read them first and we'll repeat them.
All right, here we go.
Unplug, everybody.
I am a bright.
Unmute,
Oh, yes, unmute.
Everybody.
I am a bright and glorious light in the world.
I
am a bright and glorious light in the world.
My inner self and my higher self is one.
My inner self and my higher self is one.
Infinite possibilities are mine now, and I accept my exceptional life now.
Infinite possibilities are mine now, and
I accept my exceptional life now.
Beautiful.
With you, Reverend Gwen. I am signing off, but I will see all of you tomorrow with love and
Now,
joy.
don't everybody go. We've got some breakout rooms for prayer rooms. I have assigned Michael to a room, Nancy to a room. Who else have we got going on here? Christine, maybe? Who else wants to be a practitioner? Oh, Christine left, maybe? No, there she is. And Christine, Nancy, Paul. So if you want to jump into a room and have a prayer, let me tell me if this works. This is the first time I've had to do this. Reverend Claire, will you do a room?
Yes.
Okay, Reverend Claire. There you are. Okay, so go ahead and join in. If there's more than one person in the room, the second person in with the practitioner has to get out. Does that make sense, everyone? You can unmute. Okay. Just do, oh, there we go. All right. Are people going into the rooms? How come I can't see that? There we go. Okay. Broadcast message to all. Can you see where you want to go? Did I say? Is it coming up? Help me out.
No, it is not coming. I'm not seeing.
Oh, shoot. I had this.
What?
Okay. Maybe it'd be easier if, maybe if you put up your hand and tell me if you want prayer. James, okay. Okay, there you go, James. And oh my God. Okay. I'm gonna have to get better at this, that's for sure. Now take Michael, there we go.
I am raising the hand.
Okay, thank you. Oh, okay. Joy, sorry, people. I thought this was going to work so much easier. Oh my God. Can you go to room 1, Alfred? No. Shoot. Okay. I can't see everybody either.
I'm back, Reverend Gwen.
Okay. Did you get somebody in there?
No.
Okay, so I'm messing this up. If you want prayer, can you put it in the chat room to Paul? Because Paul's here. Alfred, do you want to do that to Paul?
Yeah,
in the chat and ask. So then it's private. You're just messaging Paul.
Yeah.
Okay. I hear the baby.
Yeah.
That's a healthy sound, Alfred.
Yeah.
Reverend Gwen,
Yes.
So which room?
I am lost.